Birds need a lot of the same things that people need. They need food, they need water, they need open spaces, clean air. And so when you work to provide wild birds here in New York City with those resources, you're also improving quality of life for communities here in New York City. I'm Jesse McLaughlin. I'm a first-year PhD student in the Environmental Psychology program at CUNY Graduate Center in the Department of Earth and Environmental Sciences. For about 3 years, I worked in the urban wildlife conservation field. I have worked for New York City Bird Alliance for almost that entire time, doing public engagement, getting people excited about birds and wildlife in our urban habitat, and also working towards mitigating the threats that birds face here in the city through legislation and grassroots action. I always knew I wanted to go to grad school. I was able to generate these questions in the field and kind of put them away for a little bit. And at a certain point, I was like, I gotta dig in here. And I knew I wanted to apply to CUNY because one, it lets me stay connected with the communities and the environments that I've become really close to. And then I really wanted to work with faculty that are here, like Seth Lowe and Melissa Checker, people who are doing really interesting work on public space and parks, as well as environmental justice and gentrification. The CUNY Graduate Center was the place where I could get that filter of theory placed on top of my perspective and interdisciplinary freedom to do the work that I want to do. I'm someone who grew up around nature, and urban wildlife conservation is such an interesting project. People think of conservation, they think of this faraway land, uninhabited, disconnected from people, but urban wildlife conservation really shows protecting green spaces is not about removing people from that environment or imagining that people don't exist there. It's about finding meaningful connections between people and their environments. Nature is not just where you might imagine it is. It pops up in a lot of places that are unexpected. A teeny tiny example is just like plants grow between sidewalk cracks. On like a broader scale, birds are nesting on top of buildings. Like the Jacob Javits Center has a colony of herring gulls that nest on it every year. And they come from far away to nest there every summer. You could walk through Midtown and assume that there's no nature, but there's an entire green roof that's filled with dozens and dozens and dozens of nests with eggs, with baby herring gulls, and this is a species in decline. We don't have to build a whole forest in the place of Times Square. We can embed wildlife because it's already there. If you're interested in exploring questions like this and considering coming to the CUNY Graduate Center, I would embed yourself as much as possible within the landscape of whatever you're interested in. For me, it means going on walks in my local park and noticing the birds around me, and it's not necessarily my research practice, but I am reconnecting with why I do what I do, why I want to answer these questions, and a way of feeling closer to the nature that's all around us.